What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Zamraxon here, and today guys I'm coming at you with a video talking to you guys about the next biggest synchro deck. Guys, to be honest, I've been playtesting this deck for quite some time now, getting ready for Secret Slayers to release this week. I really hope you guys are as hyped as I am. This new archetype is called Adamancipator, and this is basically a rock archetype that's literally gonna blow your minds, alright? It's a new synchro based deck. You can do a lot of cool things in this deck, and I truly believe this deck has lots of potential when it comes to the brand new Master Rule 2020. A huge shout out to Konami for sponsoring this video. I got some cool cards here to showcase you guys in the video. Also, the cool thing is these cards are in high quality, so that way you guys are actually able to get a quick scope on what these cards look like in full quality. Man, these cards look beautiful, even on the screen, man. It's crazy. Alright guys, so I won't waste any more of your time. Without further ado, introducing the brand new rock archetype coming out of Secret Slayers, Adamancipator. Alright guys, let's do it. Alright guys, Adamancipator. Okay, so basically what Adamancipator, the archetype, is actually based around summoning multiple synchro monsters on the field as much as possible. And especially with the new Master Rule being released on April 1st, we do not have to have link monsters to open up arrows to summon synchro monsters, Xyz monster, or fusion monsters from the extra deck any longer, which is actually pretty awesome. So synchro monsters can take huge advantage of this brand new Master Rule. There are three types of Adamancipator monsters. First, we got the Adamancipator Tuna monsters. Next, we got the Adamancipator Crystal monsters. And last but not least, we got Adamancipator Risen. These are the boss synchro monsters in your extra deck. The wonderful thing about the Adamancipator monster effect is that the tuners can special summon crystal monsters, and once the crystal monsters are special summoned by Adamancipator monster effect, you then can easily make the Risen synchro monsters in your extra deck. This deck is super unique, being able to spam rock monsters on the field, then providing you enough synchro materials to make your Risen synchro monsters. It's insane. All the Explore monsters are rock monsters, and then with the crystals you got fire, water, and wind. Same thing for the synchro monsters, fire, water, and wind. These cards are pretty unique. As you guys can see, these explorers literally go dig out, find these crystals, and these crystals evolve, which is actually pretty sick. The way that this deck works is that the tuner monsters excavates the top 5 cards of your deck and special summons a level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster, which is in this case crystal monsters, triggering off their effects. Then you can synchro summon your Risen monsters, which gets their extra effect if you have a monster that matches its attribute in your graveyard. Like I mentioned earlier, the tuner monster can summon any level 4 or lower rock non-tuner the excavate. So you can use any powerful rock monster you want. An example of a rock monster that you can use with this deck is Koikimeru monsters, especially the level 4 ones. One of the really cool archetypes that work really well with the Adamancipators is the Koikimeru archetype. Especially utilizing those rock level 4 Koikimeru monsters is absolutely insane. What's wonderful about these level 4 Koikimeru monsters is that they provide you any negate that you want. If you want to trap negate, you have access to that. If you want to spell negate, you have access to that. There are a bunch of negations that you can actually incorporate using the Koikimeru monsters into the Adamancipator archetype. So this deck is actually very versatile with a lot of rock archetypes decks, which is really, really cool. Some of the cool rock monsters that you can add into your deck to support the Adamancipator archetype is cards like Koikimeru Overload. And this card right here can negate monster summons, which is absolutely insane. Koikimeru Guardian, which negates monster effect. Koikimeru Wall, which negates spell effects. And last but not least, you got Koikimeru Sandman. If you're facing against trap decks, Sandman negates trap card effects. Insane. So you can actually throw in additional negations into your deck alongside with your synchro monsters. You're pretty much set. Alright guys, first and foremost, let's talk about the Adamancipator Risen synchro monsters. There are 3 main Adamancipator Risen synchro monsters in your extra deck. 1, we got the Fire, Adamancipator Risen Leonite. Next, we got the Wind monster, the Adamancipator Risen Raptite. And last but not least, we got the Water, Adamancipator Risen Dragite. Guys, first and foremost, these cards' artwork look absolutely incredible. Look at them. They look very nice. Alright guys, so let's dissect these cards' effect real quick. So Leonite, this card is a level 6 fire synchro monsters which require 1 tuner monster plus 1 non-tuner monster. So during your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add 1 excavated Adamancipator card to your hand. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. During your opponent's turn, if a fire monster is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target 1 rock monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You only use each effect of Adamancipator Risen Leonite once per turn. So this card right here can revive back a Adamancipator monster from your graveyard during your opponent's turn. Especially cards like Quaking Mirror monsters, those cards will give you so much value once they're summoned back because you can actually get more negations during your opponent's turn. So Leonite is a monster reborn effect, which is really awesome. Next we got the Adamancipator Risen Raptite. This card right here is a level 6 wind synchro monster, same requirements, 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can special 1 excavated rock monster in defense position. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So similar to Leonite, you this card excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, but instead of adding the card to your hand, you're going to be able to special summon the rock monster that was revealed to your side of the field in defense position, which is actually pretty unique. During your opponent's turn, if a wind monster is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. You're going to use each effect of Adamancipator Risen Raptite once per turn. So this card right here has quick effect, which acts like a DD Crow, be able to manipulate your opponent's graveyard if they have cards like Miscellaneosaurus. Whoop, sorry, banish that. If they have cards like Skystriker Array, whoops, banish that. See ya. So this card right here is able to manipulate your opponent's graveyard with ease by disrupting their plays that utilizes the graveyard, which is actually really, really awesome. Last but not least, we got the Adamancipator Risen Dragite. Personally, my favorite one. This card looks so sick. Look at the artwork. So this card right here is the water level 8 synchro monster. Requires 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, guys, this card is insane. Wait for it. And if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls to the hand, up to the number of excavated rock monster. Also place the excavated card on the bottom of your deck in any order. So guys, can you imagine you excavate 5 rock monsters? You're returning 5 cards on your opponent's field to their hand. It doesn't destroy, okay? It does not destroy. And the crazy thing about this card is this card's effect does not target. So there's monsters in today's metagame that protect themselves from destruction and targeting. This card does not target. So if you excavate 2 cards, you're bouncing 2 cards on your opponent's field. That doesn't target. 2 back row, 2 monsters in the field. If you excavate 5, you're basically bouncing back their entire field to the hand. This card kind of reminds me of Bryonak, which is pretty cool if you want to bounce cards to the hand. And guys, you guys are probably wondering, Sam, how are you ever gonna know that you're gonna excavate 5 rock monsters? I'll get to that in a second, okay? So Drag Guy right here is insane. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect while water monsters in your graveyard, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy. Guys, this card also has a built-in spell and trap card negation effect while you have a water monster in your graveyard, on top of bouncing cards to the field, which effect doesn't target. This card is broken. Crazy synchro monster, guys. Crazy. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it on I have to talk about the synchro monsters. Now let's go talk about the tuner monsters. The tuner monsters are basically the heart and soul for the entire deck. So we got the Adamancipator Seeker, Adamancipator Researcher, and last but not least, Adamancipator Analyzer, okay? What Adamancipator Seeker is that it's an Earth level 2 rock tuner effect, which reads that if you control an Adamancipator monster except for Adamancipator Seeker, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's a free special summon when you control an Adamancipator monster. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can special 1 excavate level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster. Also place the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. Excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. If you see a level 4 or lower rock monster, you can easily special summon it to your side of the field, which is really, really amazing, helping you get more board presence. Also at the same time, giving you access to level 6 synchro monsters in your extra deck when you excavate a level 4 or lower rock monster. You know, if you excavate a Quaking Mirror monster that's level 4, this tuner and the level 4 monster makes the level 6 Leonite or the Raptite, which is actually pretty cool. The next one is Adamancipator Researcher. This card right here, same thing, is a level 2 Earth Rock Tuner effect monster. If you control a rock monster except for Adamancipator Researcher, you can special summon this card from your hand. Guys, it's a free special summon when you control any rock monster. Any rock monster. So let's say you have a Nibiru token on the field, you can special summon this card because the Nibiru token is a rock monster. As long as you have a rock monster on the field, you can special summon Researcher. It has a more versatile ability over Seeker. Seeker only special summon itself when you have an Adamancipator monster on the field, but Researcher can special summon herself whenever you have a rock monster on the field. So she's going to be pretty much easier to summon over Seeker. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can special one excavate level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster. Also place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So Researcher special level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster, whatever she excavates, which is pretty cool, similar to Seeker as well. Last but not least, we got the Adamancipator Analyzer. So this card right here is level 4 Earth Rock Tuner Effect Monster with the effects that reads that if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Basically, similar to Cyber Dragon, your opponent controls a monster, you don't. Special summon on your side of the field for absolutely free. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can special one excavated level 4 lower non-tuner rock monster. Also place the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. All these tuner monsters have the exact same effect to excavate the top 5 cards of your deck. The only difference that these tuner monster effect has is their special summon ability. Seeker, you need to control an Adamancipator monster to special summon itself from your hand. Researcher can special summon itself from the hand when you control a rock monster. And last but not least, we got Analyzer, which can easily special summon itself when your opponent controls a monster and you don't. So overall, these tuner monsters are the heart and soul for the entire deck. Alright guys, next let's talk about the Adamancipator crystal monsters. We got 3 of them. We got Leonite, Raptite, and Dragite. All of these cards are in crystal form, and eventually, as you guys can see, all of these crystal cards evolve into the Synchros, which is actually amazing. The artwork on these cards are absolutely beautiful. The crystals are really important because these are the cards that you want to excavate off the tuner's effect, so that way that these crystal monsters can trigger off their effects whenever they're special summoned by their tuner monsters. So let's talk about Leonite first. So if this card is special summoned by the effect of an Adamancipator card, you can place one Adamancipator card from your hand or graveyard to the top of the deck. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one fire synchro monster you control, or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, place this card to the top of your deck. Next, we got Raptite, which is the win one. If this card is special by the effect of Adamancipator card, you can place one rock monster from your hand or graveyard to the top of your deck. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one wind synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, place this card to the top of your deck. So let's say you have Nibiru, the Primal Being, in your graveyard. You can actually activate Crystal Raptite's ability to place Nibiru to the top of your deck, so that way that if you need Nibiru, you can actually potentially draw into it, which is really, really good. And I'll get to the next one, Dragite. Adamancipator Crystal Dragite right here is pretty interesting, okay? Because its effects reads that if this card is special by the effect of an Adamancipator card, you can draw one card. So Raptite and Leonite stacks the card from your hand or graveyard to the top of your deck. Like I mentioned earlier with Nibiru, if you want to use Raptite's ability to stack Nibiru to the top of your deck, and then you're able to trigger off Crystal Dragite's ability, you can easily draw that Nibiru that you stack with Raptite, which is actually pretty crazy. So Dragite right here, I believe is the best one out of them 3. This card can easily help you draw a card whenever they're special summoned by the effect of Adamancipator card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one water synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, place this card on the top of your deck. So all these crystals are able to stack themselves by returning a synchro monster from the field or graveyard with the exact same attributes as the crystal monsters, return it to the extra deck, and then stack themselves to the top of their deck. So that way that whenever you trigger off the tuner monster ability, you can easily special summon these cards to your side of the field, which is actually really, really awesome. Alright guys, now let's move on to the spell and traps for this entire archetype. I'm telling you guys right now, these are powerful spell and trap cards for the entire deck. First and foremost, let's talk about their main field spell, Adamancipator Laputite. So right here, this card reads that all rock monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, you can take up to 5 Adamancipator cards from your deck and place them on top of your deck in any order. So bringing on to the question that I asked you guys earlier, Sam, how can you bounce 5 cards with Risen Dragite, with the Synchro monster? Right here, guys, this field spell, Laputite, right here. Laputite is the card that's going to be able to help you maximize your Adamancipator Risen Dragite's ability. So let's say you stack 5 Adamancipator monsters. you bounce 5 cards. This field spell right here is the card that's going to be able to help you maximize your Adamancipator Risen Dragite's ability. This card is insane. On top of that, Adamancipator Lap Type plus a tuner guarantees the special element you want and fixes your draw so you won't draw unnecessary monsters. And last but not least, do not underestimate Labutite's attack and defense boost. 500 attack is a lot, especially combined with cards like Block Dragon. Next, we got Adamancipator Sign. This card says that target 1 rock monster in your graveyard, special summon in defense position, then if you special summon an Adamancipator monster by this effect. And the wonderful thing about this card's ability is that it doesn't need to target an Adamancipator, and it doesn't negate the effect of the monster's special summons. A lot of cards that revive cards from the graveyard sometimes have that clause where it restricts you from using their effect. This card doesn't have that effect at all. You can utilize their effect whenever they're special from the graveyard using Adamancipator Sign. So this card right here is definitely one of the main spell cards for the entire deck. Alright guys, off to the trap cards. The trap cards are insane. So Adamancipator Relief. Tribute any number of Adamancipator monsters, then target cards on the field equal to that number +1. Destroy them. What's crazy is that this card's effect is not once per turn. So if you have multiple copies, you can activate multiple copies in the exact same turn. On top of that, if you tribute an Adamancipator monster, just 1, you destroy 2 cards. If you tribute 2 cards, if you add 2 + 1 quick mats, you destroy 3 cards. This card is broken. The next trap card is pretty cool as well because we get an additional negate alongside Risen Dragite. This card right here is Adamancipator Resonance. So when a monster effect is activated, while you control an Adamancipator Synchro monster, negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Dragite negates spell and trap. Resonance negates monster effects. So if you have Dragite and Resonance, you're pretty much set alongside with Quaking Mirror monsters. You're pretty much Gucci to go. Alright guys, some of the cool cards you guys can actually use when it comes to combining these rock archetypes together is cards like Gallant Grand Knight. This card right here is level 4 Hexyz monster, which requires 2 level 4 monsters. You can attach 1 material from this card, add 1 rock monster directly from your deck to your hand. So if you want to search any of your tuner monster, especially Researcher, because you can special summon her from your hand if you control a rock monster. It's so versatile, and the crazy thing about Gallant Grand Knight is that it can search the primal being directly from your deck to your hand. Also at the same time, it has a special summon ability where you can special summon a rock monster from your hand in face down defense position. Like I mentioned earlier, Quaking Mirror Overload, Quaking Mirror Wall, Guardian Sandman. These cards are all great cards to support the brand new rock archetype. Next we got Doki Doki right here. This card's pretty risky, but you can substitute for a second tuner if you like, swapping duplicates in the deck or discarding Quaking Mirror monsters. Last but not least, I truly believe this card right here will support this deck super well. Block Dragon, guys, if you think about it, the 3 Adamancipator tuner monsters levels add up to level 8. So we got Analyzer, that's level 4, Researcher, that's level 2, and Seeker, that's level 2. 2 + 2 is 4, + 4, 8. Block Dragon can add these 3 cards from your deck to your hand. Oh, crazy! Also, if you want to see a Quaking Mirror monster, a Quaking Mirror monster is a level 4 monster. Level 4 + 2 tuners, 2, 2, 4 + 4, 8. Guys, summon a Quaking Mirror monster, special Researcher, special Seeker. And how can I forget about this card? One of the greatest addition to this entire archetype is the brand new Crystron Hack-O-Fibrax that has just been recently released in Dual Overload. Crystron Hack-O-Fibrax, since the tuners are the heart and soul of the entire deck, being able to access these tuner monsters directly from your deck using Crystron Hack-O-Fibrax ability is insane. So alongside Block Dragon, this card is also a great addition to the deck as well. Guys, the deck has so much potential, and I truly believe it's gonna be one of the biggest Synchro decks ever released for the 2020 format. Post Master Rule 2020, holy smokes, this deck's gonna be great. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. That'll be absolutely amazing. A huge shout out to Konami again for sponsoring this video. Guys, within the next day or 2, we got a Secret Slayer opening. I got deck profiles coming up for all 3 brand new archetypes. My colleagues DZ and Team APS did their own review on the brand new archetypes coming out of Secret Slayer, so make sure you guys check them out in the link in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that thumbs up button if you guys want to see more videos. And this is your boy Sam from Team Sam signing out. Alright guys, peace.